Alright guys, so here is the pen, the quarantine pen for our Alpines from the Claiborne auction. I'm not sure when I'll be posting this, so last week or a couple days ago on August 14th. So we've got this area, and then we have the second section over here. Here. And I am currently filling up this water for them so they have plenty to drink, and after that I'm going to go grab a hay bale. They should be here in about 10 or 15 minutes. So the reason for the two sections is because we have 5 boys and we have 3 girls. So after they settle down for about a week or so, we're going to separate the girls and put them over there, and the boys will be in here until we get them gelded. And they'll be quarantining for 2 months, just like all of our intakes from auctions or kill pens. It's very, very important to prevent any diseases being spread. So that's how our pen is set up. And let's go get them a hay bale. First, we will need to untie this net that's right here and get it ready to put on their bale that's going to go in their pasture. These nets all have these drawstring type closures, so once the horses are done eating a bale, there is still a string tying it closed. So you have to pull the string out, and this one had been in a muddy pen, as you can see, so we had a lot of the remnants of a bale here that gets stomped into the mud. You do not want to feed this. That's why this one was pulled out. This is very filled with dirt. You do not want to feed this again, and this net's been sitting here for a week or so, and this hay has started to mold. So had we left this in the pen, it would not be very good for the horse's health. So it's always important to dump out these nets before we reuse them, because we don't want this stuff just sitting in the bottom of the net with our brand new bale either. Hay string, we're going to run that to one of the many hay string piles around here. If anyone has any ideas on some good stuff we could do with leftover hay string, or anywhere we could donate it to, let me know, because it just really goes to waste and we use a ton of it. So next, we are going to get this net situated correctly, so when I bring the new bale up, it's easy to put on. So this is like a giant hay bag. This part right here is actually a flap. See? And this closes over that opening, and the whole bale fits inside. So we always want to get the flap out to the side here. Sorry, I got my camera angle all weird there. We want the flap out to the side, and then we want the other end of the opening over here. And this one, as you can see, it's all bunched up here, and we have this string hanging out. This net is almost reaching the end of its life. We're going to cut this string off so it's not in our way, and we might get a month's use if we're lucky out of this net, and then we'll have to buy a new one. And depending on which brand you can find at the time, these nets run from $200 to $350 per net. So we don't like it when the opening gets messed up like this one. It gets all scrunched up, and then eventually it's too small to fit on the bale, so it's a big pain. We've tried fixing them. There's no way to fix it. You can't just pull it back through and loosen it back up, unfortunately. So that's one way that we end up having to buy new nets all the time. And the other way is the horses, when they're eating, they like to paw at it with their hooves, because it makes little pieces of hay fall out onto the ground and they can easily eat them. About half the horses prefer to eat that way versus just biting through the net like they're supposed to. So that creates holes in the net, and we will patch those as long as we can, but eventually we'll have so many holes that again we will have to replace the net. Our Alpines will be here any minute, so let's hop on the tractor and grab them a bale. Hey, boys. Okay, now let's put this bad boy on, shall we? Start with one end. You won't need the rope until it's in the pin, so make sure you put that on the tractor with you, or you're going to have to walk back over here to get the rope. Don't ask me how I know that. Cuervo, get off the road. Or don't. So, another note here on these bales. Move. Go. Go, go, go. Good boy. You always have to check, because sometimes where they cut the baling string, there's little scraps like this. And you do not want your horses eating this. This will cause major problems, so you always have to check and remove these. Check both sides. how hard this is to get on? That's because that string I showed you is all stretched out. So it makes the opening smaller, so it barely fits on this bale. And you just have to keep working it on like a giant sock. Careful not to get one side further on than the other. So now what we have is a fully netted bale. You see it's open on this side. And so we will close this flap up as soon as we get it into the pen. So let's go. Make sure you don't forget this rope. Like I said, I've done it a million times. Now we're going to make sure that we grab our rope out of the tractor because we're going to need it. And we're going to come over here. And if you notice, we have a lot of slack down here on the ground by Cuervo. So we're going to take all that slack and we're going to bring it up to the top. About like that. And now we just have this opening along the top here. And we're going to do that all the way around, making sure we don't have any slack, if at all possible. There we go. And remember our flap, here it is. So first we're gonna come along and we're gonna start here. We're gonna start down here. And we're gonna cinch this closed. Then we're gonna lay our flap over and go around so that it's like a double seal and the horses can't just get straight hay. So let's do that. And just as I start tying this up, here they come. We're just gonna lead them over, show them the easiest way to back up to the pin here. There they are. My initial observations about this group is that they are extremely worked up. It seems like they've been through a great deal, and they really have. This group has been at the Claiborne auction for over 2 weeks since the temporary restraining order that was placed on them before they could go through the last auction. Unfortunately, the judge did not decide to extend that, so they were auctioned. But it is a good thing because the extra time allowed us to be able to help a lot more of them than just Bear's mare Cricket. As you can see, all these guys and gals are very thin. We're seeing ribs on almost everyone. They really need a lot of TLC. This gray mare here is by far the worst out of the bunch, so we'll be keeping an extra close special eye on her as we go through the process of getting them healthy again before they are able to go join the rest of our Alpine herd. Up front here is Cricket, Bear's mare. Look how beautiful. We see the worry in their eyes, and I'm not even close to them here. My camera's on a 3 zoom, and they felt the need to trot away from me. So that's letting you know how skittish these guys are, and we'll see as time goes on how they get more and more used to me being in their presence. But just like all Alpines, man, are they so, so, so beautiful. And we are truly so grateful to be offering them sanctuary. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more frequent updates, and thank you all so much.